we've had a very good and important break for us. We took the liberty of the break to manage the squad. We had a couple of players that needed a bit more work than others, and so they were on different programs. And then also some players also needed a couple of days off because of the number of games that we've played so far. So it's been a good break for us. There's been good energy since the return, a lot of good work that's been done, and now we concentrate to play against a very good Coton Sport side. The results, of course, don't show that, but you can see the quality in the team, especially with regards to the attack. Some very, very good players in Waso, Ramses, Dauda, Koholo. These are players that can create a lot of problems for anybody. And then they've got very aggressive fullbacks. And the left fullback, the number 12, Abba, very aggressive with a lot of crosses into the box. Mamadou, the captain, right back, also very aggressive with number of crosses in the box. They average 15 crosses into the box per match. They put 25 against us when we played against them in Cameroon. So strong side with a lot of potential with the players, and we have to make sure that we are at our best and we perform very well if we want to win the match.
Nada, creo que va a ser un partido muy difícil, como lo han sido todos en esta Champions que es muy complicada, ya sabemos. Y nada, como te digo, lo estamos preparando de la mejor manera, y como es este club Sundowns, siempre hay que ganar, así que nos estamos preparando de la mejor manera.
Very important. We spoke about it today in the morning with the players. Important for us to finish number one in the group. Because it's got a lot of connotations to it. So we want to finish first. We want to make sure that we complete the group stages with the same excellence that we've played every single match now. And, the story. Winning is a habit, it sounds cliche, but it's important that you go into the knockout rounds with the feeling of knowing how to win and knowing how to win important games, and this is the mentality that we have to carry into the next match. Peter Shalulile returned yesterday, did recovery, and we gave him a day off today, so he will only join us for training tomorrow, but assessed by the medicals and is in a good shape. We also had Brian Onyango representing Kenya, and they played against Iran in a international friendly. He arrived last night too, and already we had discussions about his performance because I watched his game, and I gave him a bit of feedback about the performance. I thought it was very good against a team that was at the World Cup. And but was good for him because Brian's story is an incredible story. You think about his evolution and his growth, and I don't think a year ago, or maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when that horrific injury happened to Brian, I don't think he would have thought he would be even back in the national team. So it's good, and it's a fantastic story, and I was really very happy to see him play at that level. And then the Bafana players arrived last night. They came in and reported for training today. They've been assessed by our medical team. They've received also some support from a recovery perspective, so they follow the protocols. We will have to deal with them differently because they've had different loads. Mudiba has a different load to Tambazwane. Tambazwane has a different load to Mtobi Mvala because Mtobi has played both games and 90 minutes. Cassius will be on a separate program. So some will be given some time off, and then some will report, like Tapelo will also have some time off. He's played now the 2 games in Orlando and in Cameroon. So we have to manage them a little bit differently. But we will assess them, some of them tomorrow, on the training pitch, and see whether or not they can play and help the team on Saturday. One of the things about this Sundowns group is we've got very good human beings, and Peter just happens to be one of them. If there's one thing I can say as the coach, and really I'm in a position where I know I am extremely privileged to not only be the head coach of this talented squad, but to lead a group of good human beings. And you see that the spirit is good, the sense of brotherhood is incredible, and they celebrate each other's achievements as if it were their own. And you watch even on the WhatsApp groups when the players score, or Peter scores, you see everybody congratulates. You see when Bafana qualified, you see everybody congratulates. And this is the type of spirit, and this is what helps us. You know, it helps us a lot. And as I always say, you know, I don't like speaking about individuals, because what I say about Peter being a good human being, I can say about so many of the players in the team, you know. So it's always a team sport and a collective effort, but for sure the successes are successes that we celebrate, and we are very proud of each and every single one of them. We are proud of the Bafana players that made an incredible contribution to the Bafana team, both on and off the pitch, because I think it was good to hear Coach Hugo Broos speaking about the energy that they bring, the level of professionalism that they brought to the camp. We are proud of Peter because, of course, you watch Peter against a team like Cameroon, both home and away, and the quality that he gives to that Namibian side. But not just that, he gives a little bit of the work ethic, and you can see, you know. So it's good. Brian was phenomenal, but you can say the same. I said to Allende, I said to Savredra, I said to AB that they need to be next. They need to, when there's an international break, they need to be playing for their national teams, and not only because I speak in a position where I maybe I am a little bit biased, but because I believe the talent that they have and the qualities that they show for this club, which happens to be one of the biggest clubs on the African continent, and the performances that they show are worthy enough. And of course, with Allende, the performances are good enough for him to be in that space. So it's step by step, and we'll continue to work and give them as much support as we can, and hopefully they can get into that space where they can also be in the national teams. Pressure is a privilege because of the quality that we have and the players that we have. We've always got pressure to win and pressure to deliver. So, and we have to work every single day with this mentality. We have to come to training every single day, demand more, push for more, work hard, and try to put ourselves in a position where we know that we don't have a God-given right to win football matches, and we've got to work very, very hard for that. And that's the work that we try to do every single day.
Bueno, sí, lo de Arsenal, nada, increíble, que lo tengo de siempre en mi mente, lo trato de recordar porque fue un paso increíble y donde aprendí mucho y me enseñó a ver lo que es el mundo de alto nivel. Y nada, ¿por qué vine acá? Es porque me di cuenta en este tiempo que he estado acá que Sundowns, la obligación es ganar y a todos obviamente le gusta ganar, así que nada, feliz de estar acá. Muy encantado con el país, con la gente, y como te digo, me encanta estar acá porque siempre el equipo quiere ganar y esa es la mentalidad que a mí me gusta.
Unfortunately, also River is added to that space where he's unavailable. We've got a couple of options. One of them is Rulani Mokwena, maybe.
I don't know.
I've been playing in the rondos to prepare myself, so but we've got a few options. We'll see. We've got very good midfielders, and we'll try a few options, and we'll see. We did a bit of work today around one or two options. Of course, Sipho is one of those options. But we might have to play with, not with a 6, but we might have to play with a deep lying playmaker instead of a 6, and change a little bit the way, but some of the principles stay the same, of course. And yeah, not much to say about it because we have to work and see. So we'll see on Saturday what we do in that position. It's educational. It's educational in the sense that life has its ups and downs. Life has its moments where perseverance is needed. But also life has its moments where in failure there's a lot of education. And part to everybody's story, I always say this even to the players, I say, success has the same clues. And every successful man or woman on the planet has a story that involves moments of hardship and failure. But it is those moments that make us who we are, you know. So I'm just fortunate at this point in time that I have a squad of very, very good players who happen to be very, very good human beings. And I am at a very good club that has the support structures that we have. And the focus is to try to help this club, try to make the supporters happy, and try to make this football club better than we found it. It's a hard task. It's got a lot of pressure and it's got a lot of expectations, but it's one that we can together push towards. And then it's the grace of God too. You know, it's when there's God's invisible hand, you understand, as particularly when you failed so many times in your life. And I may not have too many failures, to be honest, but when you have failed in your life, you then understand and appreciate that because you failed so much, you only succeed, 1, because of the people around you, and 2, because of God's grace and favor. And some of these things we don't speak too much about, but they happen in day-to-day lives, everyday life, where even for everyday human beings who may not have the privilege that I may have and the situations that I may have, but sit and go through life's difficulties and hardships. But the testimony of my story is a testimony that can help them with their story. And even though it might be in different spaces, but understanding that hardships are only a setup for even better successes and future successes. And the only thing that you need is just diligence and perseverance and a lot of hard work. And don't be afraid of tempting to maybe, if I can use that word, tempting to flirt with failure. And sometimes we are so scared of trying things because we are scared of failure that we don't try things. But yet it is the failures that actually set us up for our successes. Yeah, but we shouldn't be about that. It should be about the club. It should be about the aspirations. Marcelo doesn't have to play with that pressure. It's extremely unfair, you know, for him to play with that pressure of succeeding because of other connotations. Football is a game of brotherhood, sense of togetherness, and that type of emotion is the emotion that puts the game where it is, as complex as the game is, you know. So Marcelo plays with so much fun, enjoyment, happiness, and you can see he's happy here. You see how he plays, and now the one of the things that I like about Marcelo is that he coaches the team on the pitch. He directs the movements. He understands some of the schemes better, and he's got incredible leadership. One of the things you may not be able to be privileged enough to see is what I see every day on the pitch. I'm on the pitch. I coach and I spend a lot of time, so I hear how Marcelo speaks with his teammates and positions his teammates in and out of possession. And that for me is encouraging, because it's a sense that one, he is part of it. He's part of the process. He understands the processes. And two, he's got incredible leadership. And that's why even with the junior national teams in Chile, he was captain. He was captain at junior international level. So, as I said, to answer your question, I don't think that's fair, because I don't think any player should play with that type of pressure, except to play their careers with aspirations of winning and to be part of a winning team. And that's what I think Marcelo continues to try to do every single day here.
Sí, no, la verdad me sorprendió bastante el nivel. Nos tocó un grupo, la verdad, bastante difícil. Ya sabemos los tres equipos que están en competición. Y nada, eso de viajar, de ir a diferentes tipos de climas, diferentes tipos de canchas, diferentes tipos de comida, obviamente cambia mucho. Así que nada, feliz de estar acá y nada, muy agradecido de estar en esta competición que, como te digo, me sorprendió bastante y es muy competitiva.
Is it ideal? No, it's not, but it is what it is, because we've put ourselves in a situation where we want to be in. We want to be in this part of the season, March, April, May, and we are still in 3 competitions. And that means that you are in the league, and fortunately for us, we've done a lot of spade work in the earlier parts of the season. And so if the results can go for us and mathematically it's done, then it is done, and we will be happy with that, because it allows us maybe even emotionally, not so much from a tactical and an effort space, because we still have games to play, and we have to play them with the best intensity, with the best focus and concentration and the same desire. But if it happens, it happens, and I don't think I can doubt my team, because they've never given me reasons to doubt them in terms of level of focus. We played Al Ahly, and the next game we played Royal AM, and we needed the same level of focus and concentration, and they delivered. So they haven't given me reasons to doubt that. But I think they also know that if there is any situations where we are complacent, I think they know that there'll be problems. There'll be problems for sure from me. There's no space for that. We don't operate in that space. Part of our way of how we want to play is to start our attacks from the back. We don't start the attacks from the back because it looks good. We start the attacks from the back because we believe that that's the best way of winning football matches. And so we try to make sure that we work very hard on it every single day at training. We have certain schemes that we work on, and because that's the belief, we want to win football matches. So if there was a different way that we felt, and we were convinced 100% that we had the players and this way would give us results, we would go that way. But we've chosen to go a way that we believe not only represents the qualities of the players that we have, and where they can demonstrate their talent and their abilities to help the team to win, but we also believe that that's what resonates with the culture of Mamelodi Sundowns, the piano and shusha and the Brazilians, and a certain way of playing. Because at Sundowns, it's not just about winning football matches, it's also about how do you win football matches. And that is an added pressure, that there's a certain way we have to play because of what the expectations are for not just the players, but for us, the coaches, in terms of giving this message across and having the players buy into this way of working, so that we can make even our supporters happy. And the supporters have to feel that they can get some form of emotional attachment in how we play. And so because of that, of course, there are going to be some mistakes that will happen. Of course, there are going to be school fees that we have to pay. But the players with me know that's why we have corrections, and that's why we have analysis that happens after every match. We have notes that we give to the players after every match, because part to football is the human side. And until football goes into that space, which I don't know if it will go to, but it might get to a space where artificial intelligence has more of a role that it plays. Maybe players start to play with electropods and earpieces in their ears, and they're directed by robots. And no, it could possibly happen because that's the space we are going into. Society and technology is advancing so quickly that I mean, you see already in Europe where players are playing with cameras that are on their chest or on the foreheads. And now coaches are able to do corrections and analysis based on what was Marcelo's. Sorry. No, that's all right. So the advancement of technology is going to come into the sports, and football is going to be one of the sports that will be affected for sure. And up until then, you still have the human factor. So the human factor means you must always make room and space for mistakes. And my players know that they are allowed to make mistakes, but the most important thing is you make one mistake of that mistake, and then you make another mistake, and that's okay, but you don't repeat mistakes, the same mistake over and over. We've got to coach you and show you and teach you. And that is part of our work every single day. And when you see our players, you see, of course, I think, and I said this in the previous press conference, you see players that are improving and getting better. And that's, for me, the most important thing is we try to improve players and try to help players to be better. I've got to be the Sundowns coach, and I've got to believe that we have the capacity, for sure, to win the Champions League. If I don't have the belief, then I shouldn't coach Sundowns. We have very, very good players, and we have players that have the ambition of being in that space. And so my answer to you is yes, for sure, I believe that. And do I think it's going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy. You look at the quality of the teams that are in the quarterfinals already. Teams like Raja, for an example, who haven't won the Champions League since 1999, but these are teams that are many, many years older than us. Al Ahly, Wydad, these teams have been trying to win Champions League and competing and working towards that space for many, many decades. And so that already shows you that we have no God-given right to consider ourselves favorites or to consider ourselves as the team that can get the Champions League by just pitching up for the matches. We've got to work very, very hard for it. And that's of course, always number one. But at the same time, this is a message I said to the players. The ambition to win Champions League is not an obsession. It is the same ambition that comes from a space where we want to win the league title, for an example. That's a dream, and a dream that we hope sooner rather than later we can turn into a reality. The ambition to win the Nedbank Cup comes from the same space as the ambition to try to win the Champions League. It's a dream. And the same way with the Champions League. The ambition to win the Champions League is a dream, not an obsession. Obsessions come from darker spaces where you could even capitulate if you don't reach the target. But a dream is one that maybe you are allowed to dream again, and you have the energy to go again and again and again. And eventually, Mamelodi Sundowns, we will win the Champions League, for sure. Eventually. Might not happen this season. Maybe it happens next season, or maybe it happens the next season. But our performances and the desire and the work that we put in every single day must reflect the dream. And the dream of trying to win the Champions League is a positive dream, and one that we live for every single day, we work for every single day. And to try to make sure that we turn this dream into reality is something that we know is possible, but we know that it will take a lot of hard work. I have to thank the football club first, of course, for the opportunity, as you mentioned. But I always say, with a lot of humility too, that individual accolades in a game of football are only a means of or reflect the means and the contributions of everybody in the football club. And awards like Coach of the Month, I receive with a lot of humility and with a lot of appreciation. One, to appreciate the opportunity. Two, to appreciate the hard work and the contributions of everybody involved at the football club. From our supporters who give us a lot of support and galvanize the team. The technical team, the coaches that we have who give us a lot of support and help in terms of making sure that the performances are good, because there would not be a Coach of the Month award if the performances were not good and the team was not winning. And you don't win football matches if it's not because of your football players. And so my deepest sense of appreciation goes to this fantastic group that I am privileged to lead. And so I received the award on their behalf and dedicate it to them, because I think if I could, I would say it's the Team of the Month award instead of the Coach of the Month award, because I don't play, I don't score, and no coach has scored a football goal. No coach has defended a goal, no coach has created a goal. And so the quality of the players allows us to be able to receive these awards on their behalf, and mine is just to dedicate it to, of course, as I said, I appreciate and want to thank everybody at the football club, the supporters, management, and from groundsman to the kitchen staff. And I receive it on their behalf, but I'd like to dedicate it to the Mamelodi Sundowns football players, because they are an incredible group. They make me love coaching even more every single day. So it's dedicated to them. It's going to be a difficult one for Ronza, because he's got tough competition, in my opinion, and tough competition from a lot of Sundowns players, because what this group has done this season, I'm not so sure is appreciated as much. But history only is there for it to be written, and that's what they are doing. And I think appreciation and for records, the work, the level of performance and consistency from this group of players, for me, maybe that story can only be told in a couple of years' time. And I think, of course, because it needs to be reflected from the successes and the trophies that they win. But this group is a special group, and is a group that I think only history will tell us how special they are. And maybe I have to wait until history is able to tell that story. And I think maybe history will tell a story louder than any words that I can provide to you right now.